Good evening. This is the market update for buy sell short for Thursday, September 27th. Yesterday looked like we were about to roll over. Stocks just traded like crap. Even though the market was only down 20 points or so yesterday, it felt like 200. Just no oomph in stocks. A lot of traders sitting on the sidelines expecting a big sell-off. But like I warned in the chat room, I ended up actually just flushing my account yesterday. Found myself holding on to a bunch of stocks for too long. And when that happens, always a good idea to flush the account. But usually what happens when I flush my account, market rallies the next day. And this was no different this time. Out of the blue, market up 100 points today. What was the driver? Who really knows other than, like I alluded to yesterday, the dullness of the market yesterday was more of a trap for shorts than it was for longs. And that's the reason why I was not putting on any index shorts or any shorts period, that it was really a just sit on your hands market. And, the shorts learned the lesson today, actually looking at the daily chart. We had 3 days of selling. Yesterday we were barely down, but it looked like we were about to roll over, and the 50-day moving average at 13,300 was calling. A lot of traders expecting, another couple of hundred points downside. So what happens? 20-day exponential acts as good support, and boop, up we go. 100 points today like nothing happened. Funny thing, too, as well, yesterday we had, what seems to always happen when they're ready to sell the market off. We had some nonsense Greek headlines floating around, and it always seems to be the case, and that actually ended up trapping, I believe, a lot of shorts, and they were kind of surprised with the turnaround again today. There is still risk in this market for a test of the 50-day moving average. If we close below the 13,400 area, the lows that we saw yesterday, you'll really start to see traders get really on the defensive and start to see shorts get a little bit more aggressive. But if we're able to push back above the 13,500 area, we might see traders grow some balls and start to play some stocks. It's really been a lack of spec money in a lot of the small caps market. Now, granted, if we look at the small cap index, we did get a nice bounce back on it today. We got RSI bouncing off the 50 level. We've got stochastics in oversold territory, just like we do in the Dow Daily, where we could get a bounce off the 50 level on stochastics and RSI, and I would view that actually as bullish. Economic data has sucked, but remember, we've got that Fed money out there and underperforming stocks. Now, one thing to keep in mind, quarter end is tomorrow, so that may be why we saw the selling yesterday, maybe why we saw the pop today. We'll get a better picture next week of what the real story is on this market. But anyway, some stock plays. ASTI, time to put this one back on your radar. I actually picked up keep an eye on it position on this one going into the close today, 114, 115. It's been, week or so since that sell-off on the financing news. And remember when we played CPRX, sort of did the same thing, week or two, then boom, bounced right back. What I'm hoping happens here is similar to what we saw back in July. The stock had that huge run-up to $1.28, sold off over the course of a week or so, and then got a green candle and then rallied back over the next 2 weeks. 20-day exponential is up there at the 140 area. 8-day moving average is up there at 130. And as you can see, when this stock sells off, especially when it gets pretty far from its 8-day and 20-day exponential, tends to get a nice little snapback move. RSI is in the basement. Stochastics deeply oversold. Stops $1.10. Small downside, decent upside. Financing risk is gone because they already did the financing on this one, so definitely one to keep an eye on over the next couple of days. STEM blew up today on some data about their stem cell spine drug. Looks like it did on this previous symmetrical triangle formation of last month. Got that breakout and ended up running for 3 days. We got the breakout today on big volume. Positive MACD cross coming. Stochastics looking to break 50. $2 stops on this one. Looking for, what, 231, 240. If it follows the pattern, it should gap up and run again tomorrow. USAT. Chart is not the greatest on this one, but they signed a pretty big deal today with AT&T. ISIS signed what looks to be a trial contract in the Austin and Salt Lake City area. ISIS is a collaboration between AT&T, Verizon, etc. Essentially, it's for mobile payment technology. So this one's been beaten down pretty hard over the last couple of weeks. This news could reverse that course, and we could see a bounce back to the 50-day moving average at 146 over the next couple of days, with stops at $1.20. Like the setup here. Very nice volume on it today. Looking for continuation on it tomorrow. As for the pop scan, not a whole lot of plays on the pop scan. Like I mentioned in the chat room yesterday and in the email, pop scan got to a 4-month low yesterday. 8 stocks on it. And so really no surprise that the market bounced back today. That's typically an oversold indicator. Although saying we were oversold after barely a 100-point drop on the indices is hard to say without laughing. But still, PopScan bounced back a little bit today. Not a whole lot of plays on it again, but a lot of plays shaping up. You know, over the last couple of days, a lot of the movement in stocks have been 1-2 cents. Not a whole lot of movement. Traders still, sketchy on getting into some stocks. Might take another day or two before we start to see stocks move, especially if the market holds up and we don't see another sell-off to the downside. You'll see that speculative money come in and the popper scans start to expand. So the way I'm looking at the market right now, I've got a bullish medium to long-term outlook on this market next 6 to 9 months. We may have some noise in between. We do have the election in 4 weeks' time. Would look to see some more plays start to pop up. Going to stick to that strategy of if we get into a play and there's no movement and it's dead for 3 to 4 days, exit and wait for the volume to come back. What we're seeing in the market right now is a lot of traders jumping into stocks up big on volume. Case in point is APPY. Up big, close strong. I would not be surprised to see this one trading in the 3 to 340 area tomorrow or Monday. Last time it got a big volume and gap candle, it gapped up the next day. So let's see if that holds true again tomorrow. That's it for the video. Oh, before I go, the Trading Biotechs ebook I sent the link to a couple of days ago that is on Amazon. There is a promotion. It is free right now. So if you've not downloaded that book, go to Amazon, search for Trading Biotech Stocks. It is free right now. Even if you do not have a Kindle, you can still download it. There is a free app for Macs and for PCs. So just because you don't have a Kindle doesn't mean you can't download that book. And it is free right now. Can't beat free. So download it, read it. Hopefully leave me some positive reviews on it. And that's it. If you've got any questions, shoot me an email, feedback@buysellshort.com. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.